It's time to watch some horror films. True horror animated movies. It's time to get scared.
6 true creepy horror stories animated. Let's get scared.
I was attacked at a pharmacy.
This happened a little over
The fuck? Is this you? Bro, are you okay?
a decade ago when I was an undergrad. I worked as a pharmacy technician my sophomore through senior years. At a pharmacy, of course, you have regulars. One regular was Joe, a mid-30s man with
Joe. I love Joe.
long straggly hair and an affinity for bizarre outfits.
What?
He was very sweet, but also very ill, mentally and physically.
Oh, I hope
He
he's
was
okay.
on a cocktail of antipsychotics,
Cocktails sound good.
anti-anxiety, antidepressant, etc.
Nah, that doesn't. Nah, never mind. That doesn't sound as good anymore.
Also, he was on medicine for AIDS.
Oh,
Normally,
wow.
Joe would
Jesus
come
Christ. It's gonna be like, also, he also had one arm. Also, he was abandoned as a child and was raised by wolves in the forest. Also, Soviet Russia nuked him
With
once.
his mother, who took care of him. However, his mother was older and had her own health problems.
Wait, his
Towards
mother was
the
older
end
than
of
him?
my junior year, Joe started coming in by himself.
Oh,
So
no, the
he
mother's-
would walk from his home or take a taxi. Joe told me frequently that I looked like a young Michelle Pfeiffer, that I should be in LA, yada yada. Aside from the curly blonde hair, I never really saw the resemblance, but okay. I was polite, told
but
him
weird.
thanks, and asked him how his mother was.
Dead.
Made general small talk while I rang up his scripts. He never gave me the beware vibe. My
Really? When he comes in with that mask on, he never gave. Really? You thought that was totally okay?
senior year,
All right.
Joe's mother came in without him and told us that Joe wasn't doing well.
Oh no.
He was refusing to take his antipsychotics.
Oh my
And she
God.
was getting too old to defend herself if Joe went into a rage. She was having him placed in a home for patients like Joe. I
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
know until that day that Joe was technically under guardianship. The courts and his doctors deemed him too ill to make important financial and medical decisions. Joe's mother gave us
They
a
locked
medical
him up.
release so that Joe's new home could send their staff to pick up his medicine. We didn't see Joe for about 4 months. It was the end of my senior year, a Friday night. Just me and the pharmacist were working because Friday nights are slow. I was reading a magazine when I heard,
Joe gonna come back?
Hey, Michelle.
I'm not Michelle, so I didn't look up. Then angry,
There was no one else in there, but I'm not Michelle, so I didn't look up.
Michelle.
and a slap on the counter in front of me made me look up. It was Joe.
Whoa.
He was bleeding profusely and left a bloody handprint on the counter.
What? He went to a pharmacy? What's he going for a pharmacy for?
I was shocked, and all I could do was slowly back away
Dude,
to put
he's
distance
big.
between myself and the very bloody Joe. The pharmacist came rushing over to ask Joe what he was doing here. His home had picked up his meds on Tuesday.
I wanted to see Michelle. I miss her.
Then he started opening the waist-high door to get behind the pharmacy
Brother!
counter. The pharmacist
I'm not Michelle, mate! What are you doing?
called the store manager and told the manager to call 911 while she called Joe's mother.
Michelle, come here. Give me a hug.
No, I don't think that would be
Okay,
appropriate,
Joe. God, he's like a creepy uncle at one of the family reunions. He's like, where's my hug? It's like, you are covered in blood, mate. I don't think so.
Then he just started screaming this over and over and attempting to climb over the counter. The pharmacist told me
Jesus
to go into
Christ.
the back storage room and lock the door. This just pissed Joe off. He started picking up items which
he
covered
eating the
him in
glass?
blood and threw them at us. It was
How
a
much is he
chaotic
bleeding?
mess. A patron was about to attempt to subdue Joe, but both
Get
the
him, mate.
pharmacist and I both shouted not to touch him.
Sucker
due
punch
to
him.
him being covered in blood and positive for HIV. We
Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot about that bit.
told the small crowd that had formed to leave for their safety as Joe was flinging items and getting blood everywhere. Eventually,
Stop it, Joe.
the police and EMTs arrived. The store manager must have explained the blood and HIV issue. because they had on protective gear, long gloves, face
Always
masks,
come prepared.
etc., and were able to forcibly sedate Joe. The store had to be shut down, and a special cleaning crew had to come in and clean the entire store. Joe's mother came to apologize
Christ.
after the store reopened. She explained that Joe had developed an obsession for me and grew angrier and angrier each month when
Developed an obsession for Michelle
he was
Pfeiffer.
not allowed to tag along to pick up his meds.
Jesus.
He attacked one of
Christ.
their home residents the night of the incident.
You're not
so the
Michelle.
home grounded him and sent him to his room. Joe broke his window and crawled out through the broken
God.
glass and walked to the pharmacy. The home did not know he had broken out until his
What? The home didn't know? Didn't he like beat someone up and like jump and break a window and jump out? Are they all deaf there? How did they not know that he'd
mother
broken out?
called frantically. His mother was considering suing the home for negligence, and she had moved Joe to a more secure mental health facility.
This looks like a prison. I guess it's more secure, but like that doesn't seem like the right place for Joe. Is that it? Is that the ending? That's the ending. We have that's not a very happy ending for Joe.
1. The man I saw in my apartment.
Uh-oh.
It was around the time that our area was plagued by lots of sexual assault cases.
Oh,
And
great.
there was advice for us, which used to be that if someone followed you, look straight at his eyes and talk. Then one
What?
day, I was coming back home after hanging
Is
out.
that really what they tell people? Look him like directly into the eye. If someone's following you, make sure to turn around, look at them right in the eyes, and speak to them directly. Like, I don't know if that's good advice.
I saw a middle-aged man walking behind me, and suddenly I felt like he was following me. And he literally came to my apartment elevator. So I turned around intentionally and greeted him, smiling. Hello.
I
pretended
don't think this is really gonna stop like an assaulter from doing assault.
not to hear me at first. So I spoke to him, making eye contact with him more and more.
God, that'd be
I think I've
terrifying.
never seen you in this apartment before. Did you move here?
No,
He,
I'm
this time
following
looked at
you
me
to
with his eyes wide
harassment?
open, and then ran away from the spot. And I rushed towards the security office to report what I had experienced just
Damn, she was
before.
quick there.
And the moment when I saw the CCTV there, I had no choice but to just freeze in there. I was talking to myself, staring into the air.
Plot twist!
2.
What?
The note in
Oh
the
my
trash
god!
can.
Bro, they hit us with the M. Night Shyamadooby! The M. Night Shyamalan! She was speaking to herself the entire time. It was an illusion of her eyes! Oh my god!
It was during class time.
I'm invested
I
now.
was exchanging a little note with one of my friends, writing just a boring story, you know? And after class,
A boring story. There was a boy. He had a story.
I tore up the paper and threw it into the trash can.
Damn it.
On my way home after school, I realized that I had left some of my stuff in my locker, so I headed back to the classroom. But I felt something strange when I arrived in front of the class. So before I opened the front door, I slowly looked at people through the window next to the door, and when I looked inside, there was
Yeah.
another of my classmates there. And he was
Yeah.
picking up my torn note that I had exchanged with my friend in the trash, assorting it as if it were like a puzzle, and reading it. 3. How do you know?
What? Oh man, he must have been so disappointed when he realized that it was a boring story. He sits there for like 2 hours straight, assembling this story again. He's like, oh dude, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so worth it. And it picks up the paper when it's all sellotaped together again. One day there was a boy.
The end.
He's like, come on man, this wasn't even a good story. Are you kidding me? What do I even do this for?
One day I ran into my neighbor in the elevator.
That's what your neighbor looked, bro. Why does your neighbor look like that?
Hey, I recently got to know a lot of good songs these days, thanks to you. By the way, do you want to hear my ringtone?
Is he like dunking on her for playing her music too loud? Yeah, I've really learned a lot of good new music thanks to you. No better time than 3 a.m.
He said it like
Thanks.
this and turned on his ringtone, which was one that I used to listen to at home by myself these days. For your information, I've never heard
Do you say used to listen to at home by yourself these days? If you used to listen to it, then it's not these days.
it loud enough to be heard in the hallway. And I was positive that I haven't let him know the name of the song either.
Uh-oh, he hacked your Wi-Fi.
Did I? When I asked, he replied, yeah, Sometimes I put my ears to your front door and I could hear everything. It turns out that he was a man who didn't mind eavesdropping at random people's doors.
What?
As soon as I heard it, I got sudden goosebumps and didn't want to live here anymore. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
I'm
not
going to move to
surprised.
another place as soon as my house contract is over.
He was listening to that conversation as well, wasn't he?
4. The taxi driver. When I was in high school, I would always go to
Yeah, sometimes I just stand at your door and like listen to everything that you say.
school early at 5 a.m., around during the exam period. My school was a little far away from where I lived.
Yep. Yep. Hey, are you asleep?
So I used to take a taxi with my friend at that time. However, I came out too early that day, so I had to ride alone.
Hey!
So I was on my way to the school. Then I realized that the driver was
asleep?
wearing sunglasses even though it was dawn. And I felt like he
just
kept glancing
wanted
at
to
me
look
through
cool.
the side mirror. How old are you? I answered his sudden question. 18. He kept driving without saying anything and he suddenly
just wants
stopped
to
where the
look cool,
car
man.
had to turn left. Then he called me. Get off. Excuse me?
What?
Totally freaking out, I asked him and he calmly replied. I said get off. You couldn't have gotten off if you weren't the same age as my daughter, you know? The moment I heard his words, I got goosebumps from head to toe.
You couldn't have gotten off if you weren't the same age as my daughter? Bro, what? Sorry, you're 18, so I guess I won't murder you.
I ended up getting off the car without looking back and ran away to school.
Jesus
5.
Christ.
The talisman. There was
Yikerinos.
a pretty famous fortune teller in our town.
What does that mean? He was saying that I was gonna kill you, but since you're the same age as my daughter, actually, I'm not gonna kill you. So, your lucky day, by the way. No murder
That
today.
everyone knew. And this year, they started to make talismans for free for those who are weak or in bad situations. I didn't think of it that much at first. Since it was just a talisman, there was a rumor about its effectiveness, but it wasn't sufficiently proven. Then one day, my mom's
think they
friend made a
work.
talisman from there for her son who became a middle school student, and he eventually carried it in his wallet. But one of
Can I
his
exchange
friends
it for
took the
goods and
talisman
services?
from his wallet and played a prank on it.
No.
He rubbed the talisman on the stone and it got
No, it's
crumpled
cursed.
all over the place. And the incident happened the next day. While
It's
his son
cursed.
was riding his bike to school, he was hit by a dump truck in front of the main gate.
No! You got hit by a dump truck? Dude, whose was it?
Ended
Oh, it
up
was the
becoming
council's.
a paraplegic. I got
Oh,
goosebumps,
shit, Jesus
and
Christ, never
afterward,
mind.
I repeatedly asked my mom not to even think about getting anything like a talisman from the fortune tellers
Christ.
for a while.
Yeah, let's not get any talismans, shall we? The only reason I can make fun of it is because these are definitely not real stories. These are 100% not real stories at all. True creepy horror stories, by the way. True. 110% true. Because, dude, if that Florida man thing, if that Joe
Over.
thing at the start happened, dude, that would have been in all of the news reports. Everywhere, man. Not real, dude. There's no way. Not real. Anyway, are you sufficiently scared now? I got scared. Dude, I have to say, what was the scariest one? Dude, it's gotta be the eavesdropping one. The eavesdropping one was the scariest one.